Hello, this is Dattaswami, and I am preaching the spiritual knowledge of Sri Dattaswami. Today, our country is facing a very serious problem, which is that the poor man is not receiving the fruits of the schemes implemented by the government, so that the poor is becoming poorer day by day. This is the reason of the unrest and tension in the minds of the majority of the public, since the majority is poor. Every political party which is voted to the power is trying to serve the poor by implementing good schemes. But the fruits of every scheme are filtered by a screen called corruption. The authorities involved in the implementation of these schemes are also snatching away the fruits, so that the rich is becoming richer day by day. All the wealth is concentrated with the minority of the public, which is involved in the implementation process. Sometimes even the government is a part and parcel of the implementation machinery. The persons involved in the government are also becoming richer and richer day by day. Therefore, from this angle, we need not isolate the government from the personnel involved in the implementation. Well, the exact problem is identified, but nobody is recognizing the exact solution of this exact problem. The poor public is changing the political party every time with great ambition, expecting that the new government will effectively implement these schemes. When a new political party appears, the poor public is rising like a tsunami wave with greatest expectation and ambition in this direction. In the absence of the new political party, the majority of the public is repeatedly changing the old parties, expecting the defeated party must have understood the reason for its defeat and will implement these schemes successfully in his turn. But the same old story repeats whether a defeated party wins or a new political party wins. I am not blaming any party for its failure, because in the absence of the knowledge of the exact solution, any party cannot do anything. Therefore, the identification of the exact solution is very important to eradicate the corruption, which is the real filtering screen. You cannot control the implementing authorities by appeals or by threatening with punishments. If you appeal or threaten, there will be some partial control, which is also temporary. But these methods cannot bring complete and everlasting controls. The Christianity believed in creating sympathy through appeals. They always show the crucifixion of Jesus with the blood. They create more concern in your heart by saying that Jesus underwent the crucifixion for the sake of your sins and try to transform the heart through kindness and love. This is certainly a good method to bring transformation. The Islam tries to bring transformation through fear by showing the punishments. Of course, Christianity also shows the eternal hell finally for the punishment. All these methods are good in the case of illiterate, ignorant people. But the implementing machinery is consisting of high intellectuals who doubt the very existence of hell and God. Their faith on God is theoretical and fails in practical implementation. The intellectual is always convinced by logical analysis. This is the reason for the extraordinary development of metaphysics in Hinduism. The subsects of Hindu religion neither adopt the method of sympathy nor the method of fear to propagate the religion. The Vaishnava sub-religion does not show the weeping Rama in the forest, nor does the Shaiva sub-religion show Lord Shiva drinking the fuming poison for the sake of the protection of the world. These sub-religions never impose threatening policies to propagate their gods. These methods may be good in the case of illiterate masses and hence were adopted in certain times, in certain places and under certain circumstances. But the best method of propagation is always logical analysis, and it is successful in all times, in all places, and under all circumstances. Therefore, the debates between the scholars of sub-religions of Hinduism take place even today. There is neither the element of sympathy nor the element of terrorism in the effort of propagation of their subsects. The scholars of Advaita, Visista Advaita, and Dvaita continue the debates even today. Such debate is based on the quest for truth, and there should be no enmity or hatred or any ill feeling. There are two types of terrorism. The first type is based on the ignorance of God, which is the result of atheism. If atheism spreads in this society, the immediate step will be terrorism. All the poor people will unite and kill all the rich people. In the first step, all the richest people will be killed. In the second step, all the richer people will be killed. Since there will be no uniformity in the concept of richness, all the people will kill all the people, and nobody remains on this earth. The second type of terrorism is to kill people to propagate their sub-religion. The propagation of the religion should not be through threat. It should not be also by sympathy. It should be through logical analysis, which will convince the intelligence of every human being. Once the brain is convinced, the acceptance will be total and eternal. Sankara, who is the incarnation of God, adopted this method only for propagation. The atheism is ignorance. The conservative faith of a specific religion is wrong knowledge. Both ignorance and wrong knowledge are not correct methods of propagation of God. The logical analysis, establishing the universal spirituality to avoid the partiality of God, is the best method to bring the total and eternal transformation of humanity. Therefore, the correct solution to avoid the corruption so that the fruits of these schemes implemented by any government can reach the poor is the stress given on spiritual education. Today, the education is entirely concentrated on materialism only. There is no trace of place for spiritual knowledge in the present system of education. In the ancient days, the governments run by the kings always stressed on the spiritual education. The concept of the existence of God and existence of hell were established in the minds of the people, even from their childhood. The fear for God and the fear for sin must fill the brain even from the childhood. This will totally eradicate the corruption. Then the fruits will reach the poor. The gap between the poor and the rich will be reduced. There will be social balance, which will result in total peace. Without implementing this solution, changing the governments with new parties becomes only beating around the bush.
उद्धर प्रभो उद्धर प्रभो माम उद्धर प्रभो दत्त सद्गुरो हे दत्त सद्गुरो श्री दत्त गुरो माम उद्धर पतितम् उद्धर प्रभो माम उद्धर प्रभो दत्त सद्गुरो हे दत्त सद्गुरो।